In this video, we're going to discuss about nested for loops in Java, the basics of nested for loops. By this time, you might have had an idea about the basics of for loops in Java. If not, please do check my previous video. So, let's get started. Before we understand nested for loops, we'll understand what the word nested means. Nested means a loop inside a loop. So there will be two loops here, an outer loop and an inner loop. So when we look at the syntax of nested for loop, now for initial part, conditional part, initial part is we initialize a variable and conditional part is we set a condition less than or equal to, less than, greater than, whatever, and this is the increment and decrement part. So now we write a for loop, and inside this for loop there will be another for loop. Now this is called the inner loop and this is called the outer loop, and inside this for loop there will be statements, and then what happens here is this for loop will execute this statement and this outer loop is gonna execute this for loop. Now it is like the outer for loop is like the skeleton part of the body and the inner for loop is whatever is inside the body. So this outer for loop dictates whatever is inside this for loop. For example, we'll consider a condition here. For example, consider for int I equals 1, I less than or equal to 5, I plus plus. So what this does is this is gonna print numbers from 1 to 5. Now what the outer for loop does is whatever the numbers 1 to 5 are printed, it is going to print how many ever number of times we want. Like if we mention 5 times here, I less than or equal to 5, this inner loop is going to be printed for 5 times. So this outer part, what it does is it execute this part how many ever times it has to, and the inner part would execute the statement block here. Now let us look at the flowchart here. What happens here is we enter the program, then the condition 1, we enter the condition 1 which is the first outer for loop, and if that is true then it goes to the condition 2, and then if that is true the statement would be executed. The statement, for example, if we have to print the numbers from 1 to 5, what happens? For 1 we'll write I less than or equals 5. So first 1 will be printed and then this statement would be executed, and what happens? Increment or decrement would happen. Then it again checks the condition. If the condition is true, then it is going to print this again, this statement again. Then increment or increment would happen. We have taken the case of 1 to 5, so increment would happen, and then it prints 3, it prints 4, and it prints 5. After it prints 5, then this condition would be false. Then the inner loop would end. Now it goes to the outer loop. Outer loop, what it does, it is going to print as many number of times as we want. It will print the inner loop. Now the numbers 1 to 5 which are printed here inside the inner loop, now the outer loop will print them how many ever number of times we want. For example, if we mention here the condition 1 as, for example, j less than or equal to 5. So what this does is this is going to print the numbers 1 to 5 times. So 1 2 3 4 5, in the next line 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5, like that it's going to print 5 times. So this is how the nested for loop works. Now we will get more clarity when we execute programs on our Eclipse IDE. Before we draw the star pattern, we will first of all understand how the nested for loop works. Previously I've told about this nested for loop that 1 2 3 4 5 numbers printing 4 5 times, that skeleton part, that thing might be confusing. So we will look at that in Eclipse IDE right now. For example, I equals 1. Now this is the outer loop. I equals 1, I less than or equals 5, I plus plus. Now inside this for loop we are writing another for loop. For int j equals 1, j less than or equals 5, j plus plus, sys out j. Now we will see what it prints out. Let's remove this ln and now let's print this. See, it has printed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Yes. What happened here was, now this is the outer loop and this is the inner loop. This inner loop prints these numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Since I have here sys out print j, so it is printing j. J is 1 to 5. It printed all these numbers here. Now what this outer loop has done was, it has printed this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. 4, 5. So it has printed this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers 5 times here. So that is what outer loop and that is what inner loop means. This is just for example purpose. Now we will look how to print stars. It's very similar to this. For print I equals 1, I less than or equals 4, 4, I plus plus, for print j equals 1, j less than or equals 4, j plus plus, sys out now print the star. Here I am removing the ln. So what the word ln does is, it is going to print everything in a straight line. So I've removed the word ln from here so that it is going to print everything in a horizontal way, this way. Now I'll mention one more sys out here. I've mentioned this sys out print ln after this so that each and every say now 4 stars are going to print in this way and the other 4 stars, so the outer for loop would run in a next line. So that is why I've written this println statement here. We'll print this out, then I'll explain it again clearly. Now it has printed 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. So what happened here, I equal, now this is the outer loop, it's very similar to the before one. This is the outer loop and this is the inner loop. What happened here was, this outer loop has printed this inner loop the number of times we mentioned here, and this inner loop has printed 4 stars. I have mentioned star here, so it has printed star. If I mention dollar symbol here, it prints something like this, Richie Rich. So it is printed $4 and this outer loop has printed it as many number of times as I have mentioned here. So that is how it works. In the for loop, we have seen how to print a multiplication table. Now in the nested for loop, we will look at how to print all the tables from 1 to 20. So for that, for int I equals 1, I less than or equal to 20, I plus plus. This is the outer loop. This is gonna print all the. This is gonna run the inner loop 20 times. Now we'll print for int j equals 1, j less than less than equals 10 j plus plus. Now let's print out I into j plus gap. We need to remove this ln from here so that everything would be printed horizontally. And after that, we'll add one more. We'll add this println statement. I'll explain you why I did this after the execution. Here you could see all the tables are printed. 1 table, 2 table, till 20 table. So here, this is the outer loop. And this is the inner loop. And here we're printing out the values of the inner loop, and this many times the outer loop runs it. And why I've written this system out println here is, after this inner loop is executed, the outer loop needs to execute this once. How many times? We've mentioned I less than or equal to 20. So it is going to execute it 20 times. So after it executes this inner loop one time, it is going to print the other execution in the new line. See, here one table is executed in one line, and then the other execution of 2 table is printed in another line. So it would be very convenient for us to read. That's why I've mentioned this system out print ln here. And ln is basically used to print anything in new line. And if you write print normally, it is going to print it in a horizontal way. I've given this gap so that it would be organized in a proper way. So what happened here is j equals 1, j less than or equal to 10, j plus plus. So what this did, this is going to print numbers from 1 to 10. And this loop is going to run this from 1 to 20 times. This is going to run it 20 times. This inner loop, this I equals 1, I less than or equal to 20. This is going to run the inner loop 20 times. And this is going to print numbers from 1 to 10. So what we did, we multiplied I into j. So basically what happened here is, all the this j value and I values got multiplied. So 1 into 1, 1 into 2, 1 into 3, 1 into 4, 1 into 5. That's how it multiplied, and then again 2, then again 3. That's how it has gone till 20. So what happened here is, the I value till this full row was executed, the I value was common and the j value kept on changing. Here the 1 is common. So 1 into 1, 1 into 2, 1 into 3, 1 into 4, 1 into 5, like that. After 10, then it will pass here, and then 2 will be executed, then 3, 4, 5 till 20 it has executed. So that's how we can print multiplication tables on Java using nested for loop. Now we'll see how the keywords break and continue work. Okay, so that for int I equals 1, I less than or equals 10, I plus plus. Now first we'll print out this and see what it will come as. If I print this out, it has printed all the numbers from 1 to 10. Okay. Now we'll see first how the break statement works. So if I double equals 7, then break. This is the keyword I've mentioned here. If I double equals 7, then break. Now I'll print this out, sys out I. Now I'm gonna print, and let's see what it comes as. Now it has printed all the numbers from 1 to 6. So what happened here was, I have mentioned the case as when the I value becomes 7, then I asked it to come out of the loop. So it has checked all the values. When it was 1, when it is 1, then it has checked. Is it equal to 7? No. Then continue. Then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then when 7 became equal to 7, then it has come out of the loop. So that's why the numbers 1 to 6 are printed. So what break does is, it comes out of the loop after the condition is satisfied. condition is satisfied, the break keyword comes out, it just comes out of the loop. Now, when we use the keyword continue, what happens we will see. Now, what did this do after after 6? It has skipped the 7 and it has gone to 8, 9, 10. So what happened here was the continue keyword after the condition it skips the condition and prints the rest. Prints the rest, or it executes the loop simply. It skips that particular condition and it is going to execute the rest of the loop. So this is how break and continue works.
In this video, we've discussed the basics of nested for loop in Java and some basic programs. If you have any suggestions or queries regarding this video, please do ping me on my Instagram handle or please do comment in the comment section below. Thank you everyone for watching this video. Please do like, share and subscribe to my channel.